Welcome to Antiques Roadshow. Today we have two guests from our Spring Harvest group, Mark and Kaylee. Mark and Kaylee, why didn't you come in?
Hi.
How are you?
This is the setup, I love it.
Wow.
Is this the setup? I don't know. So Mark, Kaylee, this is your second day in the house. How are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it. This is like the best house I've ever been to in my whole life.
Yeah, I could just move in here.
I just like...
What is going on?
I'm just standing like, you know, pockets... hands in pockets.
I've been sent from Spring Harvest to give you some challenges today.
Okay.
Your first challenge is to find something in the house which you think is of most worth.
So wait, let me just get this straight. You want us to find something in this house that is of the most value?
Yes.
How long do we have?
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes, alright.
Time it.
1 minute 59.
Okay, go, go, go! I'm gonna try and find something not in the kitchen. Okay, here we go. Right.
Let's see. Well, I could try and pick up the TV.
Right, I'm gonna find something of immense value.
There's some sort of crazy egg-looking thing here. It's got its own stand. That's potentially expensive.
30 seconds left.
There is some amazing... I mean, that looks pretty...
I've picked my item. Go away, you'll see it.
These are like old skis. And I think they're worth loads of money. I reckon like a famous skier had them. I've got it.
Come in. Well, what have you brought me? Haley, why don't you start?
Okay, so this is an egg that was carved by an elephant.
An egg? What?
Carved by an elephant. Oh yes, I see. So you see, these are quite rare. However, lots of copies are made, so it
That's
could
not
be
rare.
fake.
What does it smell like?
It smells old. This is the one and only egg of Lafara. It is worth £40,000.
Wow.
Yeah, get in.
Well done! You have found something of great worth.
This is an old ski that was...
£10.
£10? This was Sir Ridley Scott. Sir Walter Raleigh.
£10.
These people.
He was an Arctic explorer. These were recovered from his wreckage.
I'll give you £15 if you run the jumper.
20. Is this any good?
No Farah.
Yeah, is this any good?
I have no idea.
Well, that was an interesting little introduction.
Yeah, I mean, some questionable acting skills, but we won't go into that.
Michael went to drama school, didn't you?
Yeah, I
Is
did.
that the best example of your acting skills right then?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Kaylee, so I think this has been really cool. Like we've been asked to think about this topic of unrivaled, right?
Yeah.
And just now looking at things that we put value on things.
Yeah.
And you know, I put a lot of value on that ski.
Yeah.
You put a lot of value in that egg. Go on.
I think we all place value on things that let us down. We all worship things that ultimately, like I can worship my social media account and the way, you know, the way I place all my value in that, and it takes up most of my time, and that's worshipping. To give something all your time, to fixate on it, is worship.
Yeah, it's true.
And I can do that, and then I'm going to be disappointed because one day I'm going to upload a photo that doesn't get many likes, and I'm going to go, where's my value now?
Yeah, and that's so true, isn't it? Like the things that we put value in, our attention is on them.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time I spend on I was looking at my screen time, and it's like 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
I clearly put value on my screen because that's where my attention is.
Yeah.
And what's on my screen? As you said, social media, or like my emails, or my texts, or things like that. Like, it's so true. It's like what we put value in, that's where our attention is.
Yeah. And actually, if those things come before our relationship with God, then that is what we're worshipping.
Okay, so the big questions as we start: what do you put your value in? Where do you put your attention? why do we worship?
And how do we worship?
And how do we worship? Alright, so the CEO of Spring Harvest has kind of told us to wait for instructions in the next room. So I think we should go and do that.
Let's go.
Let's go. Alright. Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. Now we're
Now we're
cooking on gas. Got my reading glasses on. From the CEO boss man of Spring Harvest. Again. Hi guys. Welcome back. We want you to phone a friend and find out, why do we worship? Why do we worship? Okay, I want us to call Dan, my mate Dan.
Okay, why?
He's just got like this epic beard. He's a wise man. I'm sure he's going to be able to tell us.
I mean, if he's got a beard, he's got to be wise.
And also, you know, like worship, I always think of like big beards. I don't know why.
Beards and check shirts.
Exactly. So, but what we could do is, when we called him, we have to slip in a word.
Okay.
As a game.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So I've got this random word generator. I'm going to generate 2 random words. We take a word each, and then we've got to get it into a sentence.
Alright.
Ready? Right, so you've got, exemption.
No, you can get exemption.
And you take sister.
And I'll take sister.
Hey Dan!
Hi!
Hey, you alright?
Yeah, we're good. I told you it's an amazing beard.
Yeah, I was so ready. Oh!
Sorry, I almost kicked you off. Talk us through what's going on in the background there. It looks very, I don't know, professor-like.
Professor, anything but, they're just books.
What's your funniest book?
Yeah, tell us your funniest book. No exemptions. No exemptions. I want like proper banter.
Probably this one.
Aww.
The story of the little mole who knew it was none of his business.
Basically goes around with a poo on his head.
Oh.
It sounds like my sister.
The exemption of poo is just crazy. Alright. So worship is not just singing, it's our work. Okay? So tenuous link, we're going to do some work. We're going to chop some wood, Kaylee.
We're going to chop some wood for the Lord.
Kaylee, have you ever chopped wood?
No, I'm so scared.
Okay. Okie dokie, are we ready? That was the worst. That was so bad. This one looks like a watering can. It's not going to be a watering can for much longer. Oh, one! Straight away. What the? I got it stuck in the ground. We've got a text from the CEO boss man of Spring Harvest, okay? And it's a big question. We've got this idea of worship that we hear all the time, okay?
Yes.
So we want to know, Kaylee and I want to know, why do we worship? What's the point of it?
Well, I think before we ask the question, why do we worship?
Yeah.
I think we have to think about, like, what is life in its full potential? Like, what is life at its best? I think that's what we've got to think about. What is life at its most adventurous, most fulfilling, most exciting? And what is the key to unlocking that life?
Right.
What is the key to unlocking this life and life to the full that Jesus talks about in John 10:10? And the way we unlock that life is to worship. We were created to worship. God created us for worship, to be beings that worship. And a lot of people might think, well, what is the evidence for that? We only have to look at the world around us. When you think about so many different religions, why do they exist? People want to worship something. You know, you see shrines on the side of the road after someone's died. It's an act of worship, it's an act of remembering. You know, we go to gigs and festivals, or we used to, and people put their hands in the air. Like, what's that about? Like, people worshipping whoever, you know? The people are worshipping, you know, people are trying to engage, and it's kind of in them to do that.
Yeah.
But actually, what is worship in itself, and how does that enhance life, and therefore why do we worship? I love how the Message puts Romans 12 verse 1. It says, so here's what I want to do. God helping you take your everyday, ordinary life, you're sleeping, you're eating, going to work, or school, or wherever, in my version, and walking around in life, place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him.
Amazing.
Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. So actually worship is part of the beautiful exchange. We worship because of who God is. We worship Him because what God has done. But I love it here because actually the Message version really does expand it out to whole life. Like worship is whole life. You know, in everything. So what is it like to worship when we eat? What is it like to worship when we go to school? What is it like to worship when we sleep? All these different things. Worship enables us to access God for all He is, and therefore, actually, then we begin to step into everything God's created us to be.
Amazing.
And everything that God has created us to do, and access, and live in. How amazing is that?
Wow, yeah.
Super cool.
I've got a bit of a fear of things like this, so I'm a bit nervous. It's so heavy.
Come on, you can do it. I'm scared for you. You're gonna like swing back and like take your knee out.
That's why I'm so scared.
Come on, Katie.
I'm so scared. Oh.
Come on, Katie, for the gram.
I missed.
Sometimes we treat worship maybe like a vending machine.
Right.
Be like, God, if I've sang you these songs, God, if I've said these things, if I've prayed, if I've done this, if I've done that, then actually what are you going to give me back?
Yeah.
It's kind of like worship is this vending machine. You put the money in, or you play the game, or you know, and all those kind of images. And sometimes it's kind of like, God is not a machine to play.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that it's quite natural sometimes to have that mindset of like, well, you know, I'm at church every week. Why is this thing not working out for me? You know, I'm giving something to God. Why isn't He giving what I want back to me? I think it is quite natural sometimes.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think when we shift I think that's good. I think when we shift our perspective of God, like you guys are saying, and like when we change from just seeing Him as a vending machine, like if I do these songs, if I do these things, actually worship is a whole life thing. We grow closer to Him. We grow to become more like Him and like Jesus. And our understanding of God expands way bigger than a vending machine, than someone who's going to do stuff for us because we did stuff for Him.
Yeah.
I think sometimes some people's image of God is he's a big kid with a magnifying glass and we are ants that He's going to burn.
Right.
You know, if you don't pay your worship, if you don't sing some songs, or if you don't do this set of things, then actually God's going to like burn us up. Like He's like this big kid with a magnifying glass. No, because God's full of grace and He invites into a relationship with Him. And part of that relationship and living out that relationship is worship. We get to worship Him for who He is, what He has done, what He's up to, this creator of the universe.
This is for Jesus.
This is for Him. This is for the Lord.
The big J and the big G.
Big swing, I'm scared for your shins.
That's why I'm scared.
It's like, sing!
Can I show you?
Yeah, show us how it's
Go on,
done.
Michael. So, Michael, this is how you do it. Here we go. Michael used to be a lumberjack. Whoa! Come on!
Way!
Straight down the middle.
Nice one.
Actually, for me, when I first realised that I was created to worship, like, the first thing, I'm just so thankful for Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for the fact that Jesus died on the cross, that He rose from the dead 3 days later. I'm so thankful for what He's done for me. So if you struggle to worship, if you struggle to see how worship can be every part of your life, how we think, what we say, what we do, how we live a life that points back to God, that is worship. If you're like, I'm struggling to engage with that, I'm struggling to see how I can be part of that, start with being thankful for what Jesus has done for you. That's the best place to start. Start with being thankful for who He is and what He's done.
Dan, I'm going to give you my blessing. You're free to go. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Bless you both. Keep going.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right,
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bye.
See you later, mate. See, I told you, his beard is like, you can get lost in that bit.
A whole new world.
A whole new bit of bearded beard. Do you know what this means? It means this is our last like time in the house.
But you know what? They can still see us.
They can. How?
They can subscribe.
I've had a good time. What is like one thing that you've taken away from today, Kaylee?
Well, firstly that I can't chop wood.
Okay.
And also that I think I'm just really encouraged to be intentional about worshipping God every day, because He's the best part of my life.
Yeah.
And so in everything I do, I want to point it back to Him, even if that means badly chopping wood, but doing it with enjoying it and not getting angry when I can't do it. You know, it's the little things, like just finding joy in life, because that's how we can worship Him.
I love that. Even if you're rubbish at chopping wood,
don't be distraught, because you are worshipping a good God.
come on. And this like this theme of unrivaled, like this God who has no rivals, this life following Jesus where we can point to Him, we worship Him, He's above all. It does excite me. It kind of challenges me. I've been thinking a lot about, where do I put my value? Where do I put my attention? Is it I'm always on my social media, or is it actually my attention is on Jesus and wanting to be more like Him?
Yeah.
Well guys, I really hope that you've enjoyed this wacky adventure in the middle of nowhere from the CEO of Spring Harvest. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with Spring Harvest, to see you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we're praying for you. Again, hit subscribe, come and join us over on Instagram at The Way UK, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Sending love to you all.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.